toilet break. Thank you. Right, Claire.
Thank you, through the Chair. This report recommends exempting 10 of our small CCOs from the accountability requirements under the Local Government Act. The majority of the CCOs recommended for exemption were last exempted in 2016, and the Act requires us to review that every 3 years. The intention of the exemption is to avoid unnecessary compliance costs for our small CCOs with limited scope of activities. For such entities developing a statement of intent, reporting against performance of statement of intent measures, they all potentially add reporting requirements that are disproportionate to the size and the scale of the entity. Council does, however, maintain a governance relationship with these entities through board appointments and funding arrangements and other kind of agreements that are in place. Of those CCOs last exempted, an exemption is no longer required for the Downtown Marina Limited, as the CCO was amalgamated into Panuku earlier this year. The Manukau Beautification Charitable Trust Board has actually, when we approached them, indicated that they wish to prepare an SOI and not be exempted anymore. However, their trust's chief executive is retiring at the end of this year after 15 years of service, and to allow the incoming chief executive and the time to create a new statement of intent, we are proposing that we extend their exemption until the end of this financial year to align it with the other CCO accountability timings. Staff are also recommending this time that an exemption is granted to the Mangere Mountain Education Trust. MEMIT does have a funding agreement in place, and its performance measures are monitored and reported to by the Mangere Tahu local board. We have consulted with that board, and they are happy with an exemption to be granted to the CCO on the grounds that we are currently considering their governance arrangements, and we will be coming back to you on that. The remaining CCOs recommended for exemption are listed in Recommendation A in the report, and they're also discussed separately in the report. Thank you.
Fairly straightforward, folks. Shouldn't need Councillor Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two questions. Firstly, one's slightly tangential, but we'll make it touch the line as close as possible. I know that Manukau Beautification Trust have provided this practice, and you've got the change happening. I was wondering if the direction that Manukau Beautification Trust have gone in, is it worth some of those discussions being talked about with the other CCOs who were exempting from this? I'm just saying, are there parts of it where it would be to the benefit of the other CCOs to capture some of those activities that would be in a statement of intent process?
Through the Chair, we have discussed this when we have gone out to the individual CCOs. For the majority of the ones that are documented, it is probably not appropriate to be looking at a statement of intent. I think that's probably the key point.
Yeah, I mean, many of them, sorry, just to elaborate, many of them have funding agreements. Manukau doesn't, obviously, because they don't receive any direct funding, but most of the other minor CCOs do, and we are kind of in the process of going through a review of the governance arrangements of all of those minor CCOs as well, or we will be next year. So
you're satisfied that it's a robust enough process at present? Thank you. And just the other question, granted the Mangere Mountain Education Trust and the challenges that they've had over time, what would be the point of exempting them at this stage, granted those challenges?
So Mangere Mountain Education Trust have a funding agreement as well as a statement of intent, and it's actually been a real source of frustration is that the two duplicate each other over the last couple of years. So, and there's a lot of kind of overlap in what those two documents, what the trust is being asked to deliver. They are also actually we are kind of in the process of right now of working on a review of the governance options, which we will be coming back to you about early in the new term. And I think essentially they are, it's better for them to, the trust and their limited staff, to direct their efforts into basically keeping the centre going rather than producing accountability documents that aren't necessary at the moment.
If I could just add through the chair, I think the challenges you allude to with the trust, I think a lot of hard work has been put in by Sarah and the trust and the local board, and I think we're sort of through the other side of that, and a lot of it is just getting the an appropriate sort of governance model for that trust going forward.
Chair, just a real quick comment just on that. I just want to say thank you because I know a whole lot of work's gone and the local board have kept us informed. I don't get a whole lot of oversight on it, but I just think it's important that we keep it tight. So thanks for the work that's going in. I was just concerned not seeing everything that we were keeping it as tight as possible. Thanks, Chair.
Right, we're just seeking a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Collins, I will second. We'll put that. All those in favour? Aye, right. We're just going to have a 5-minute break, and it is 5 minutes, and then we're straight on to the Productivity Commission submission.